Hey, what's up everybody? Digi Bro here. I'm playing Dark Cloud, PS2 game that was released on the PS4. I've been trying to hunt this game down for a long time. It's kind of hard to come by just in the wild, if you will. The original PS2 game. I recently bought a PS2 because all my PS2s keep failing and they fucking have decided that they don't want to make any of these fucking consoles backwards compatible, but they're actually selling this game on the PS4. Got my giant jug of wine here that I'm taking a swig from. By the way, I'm filming. Hi. I mean, you noticed already, I'm sure. I hate that I have to press A through this because it's going very slowly. If you're not going to let me skip it, then why not just fucking make it brief? Or not give me control over it. Anyway, this game is, I played a little bit of this. I shouldn't say that. I'm not sure if I ever played this game, but Victor had it when we were younger. And, I guess I'll just name myself Digi, because it looks like I can't customize this character. I tend to go for my own name with characters I can't customize, funnily enough. Not so much on characters I can, because then I would just make it like an actual character. Does Decide finish this? Okay. But this game seems like my kind of thing. I'm a big fan of action RPGs. I'm a big fan of games that like the accomplishments you do sort of affect the world. And in this game, the way that this game is played is that you go into dungeons and you beat up monsters, and then you get like parts of the town, and then you build the town with the parts you get from the dungeon, which is sort of like an extension on the idea of Soul Blazer, which you may remember I've played on this channel before, where every time you kill a certain number of enemies, you unlock a part of the town. This game sort of took that and ran with it. This cutscene is fucking tripping balls right now, but oh, it's got this little one of those where it's like a cutscene, but then you also press A, I guess. Wait, do I have to press A? I guess not. This reminds me of the PS1 game Vagrant Story, I think was the name of it. I only played about half an hour of it, but I've heard it's amazing. But this game comes highly recommended by Hypocrite, good friend of mine who's a video game reviewer, analyst type guy. Very funny dude. You probably know who he is, so I don't need to explain that. But if you don't, search Hypocrite. He's a big fan of Dark Cloud, and he made a review of this game that was really funny, and it made me want to play it really bad. So I'm gonna do that, and I guess now I'm just watching this purple girl dance. She's doing a fun little. This is a weird fucking cutscene. This is a weird way to start a game, but I dig that. I dig how weird this is. I dig that her ass is perfectly conforming to this weird cloth she's got on. Very bizarre. Anyway, I'm recording right now by myself because Victor is very sick with a cold, and I kind of have a little bit of a cold. It's feeling worse right now that I'm recording. And we have like a 5 or so episodes of a Ratchet and Clank 2 Let's Play that I haven't edited yet, and I just don't feel like it at the moment. So I figured I'd do something else instead. We haven't canceled the Sacred Stones necessarily. I think that they are fucking boring, particularly the last 2 episodes of it we did. I thought were super boring. We've got some people who like really want us to keep playing that game, and some people who are like, I don't give a shit, and the view counts aren't like anything special, so you know, it's hard to say. But the funny thing with listening to comments is that comments are usually vocal minorities. Like, most people don't comment. So I'm not actually paying attention to this, so why am I watching it? Is there a way for me to skip this? Yes, okay, cool. Yeah, like, the comments are always people with a strong opinion, which is why they express it in a comment. Most people just don't give a fuck about anything, and... Okay, is there... Oh, is there a... Okay, left and right. L and R are the camera controls. That's how I know I'm playing a fucking PS2 game. Holy shit. Now, what's funny about this game, and yeah, this is the, by the way, this is the town that I'm going to be rebuilding over the course of my adventure, I believe. Okay, I can turn it with the stick. It's just that turning the camera is very slow. I was watching some footage of Chase Face shows, another YouTuber. I was watching him play a little bit of Dark Cloud 2, which is also available on on the PS4. Do I have a key for this? It says there's a big keyhole. Okay. I guess I don't need to go to that door just yet. But Chaseface was playing Dark Cloud 2. Ooh, okay, I opened up a menu. And I was watching him and I realized that the game looked exactly like Chantilly's. Now, if you haven't heard of Chantilly's, I did a review of it. It's actually one of my favorite games. It's a very small indie game that not a lot of people played. Part of that is... Oh, wow, I didn't even see that. How the fuck did I miss this enormous structure over here while I was spinning the camera around? If you search Chantilly's on YouTube, like, one of the first results is by some fucking asshole called Brutal Moose, who, like, didn't like the game and shat on it. I talked about this in our Zelda Let's Play, but, I feel like most people's exposure to the game is only, like, lukewarm reviews, and no one really talked about it, like, made it sound special, except for me, and, my video didn't get a lot of views. But Chantilly's is a really fucking cool game, and after watching Dark Cloud 2 footage, I felt like Chantilly's was deliberately making homage to that game in a lot of ways, where the main character girl of that game kind of looks a lot like the main character in Chantilly's, and the way that the combat is controlled, the way that dungeons look, it's all like exactly the same. So I feel like Chantilly's may have been paying homage to the Dark Cloud series. And being as I'm a big fan of that game, I thought, hey, I should definitely play Dark Cloud, and you know, the controls are very similar. Even the fonts are very similar, and the text bubbles and everything. I definitely think that game cribbed from this one to some extent, which is not surprising because it is like a small indie game. Most of them crib from something, but it's interesting that it would crib from something like Dark Cloud, which is not a particularly well-known, you know, franchise. Beloved by a very small group of gamers, I would say. But, and you know, it's funny, I think Dark Cloud is one of those types of games. I've come to realize there's a type of game, or really of any media, that like YouTubers are big fans of, and it kind of skews the perception of it, right? Because like, let's say that there's a game that in your experience it seems like no one's ever heard of, but then suddenly like everyone knows it. What the fuck did I do? What was select? What did I press? Okay. The PS4 controller does not have a lot of commonality with the PS2 controller, so figuring out the controls is a little weird. But anyways, I think YouTubers in general, especially reviewers, are the type of people who sort of grew up not liking the same things as everybody else, right? Like, for me personally, I've told this story before, but I sort of grew up being really into Nintendo, and nobody I knew in school was into Nintendo. So as a result, I sort of developed a complex about explaining things I liked and explaining myself and trying to justify my feelings towards games and stuff like that. You know, always arguing with people about how the PS2 or whatever was inferior and the GameCube was cool, and they'd always be like, GameCube's baby games, blah, blah. But, it stands to reason then that if that's the reason I got into reviews, and whether they understand it or not, a lot of reviewers probably feel similar, right? Like, a lot of people probably got into reviews because there's certain things that they like that they want to be able to talk about and, like, spread the word about it and make more people like it. So the kind of people who are more likely to get into reviews are bound to be the kind of people who don't like everything that's popular, or who like things that are woefully unpopular, right? Like, you know, people always accuse reviewers of being, like, they hate stuff just because it's popular. But in a way, that kind of comes with the territory of being interested in sharing your thoughts on things. Because if you just felt the way everyone else felt, we wouldn't need to explain yourself. You'd go, that was a good movie, and everyone else would go, yeah, it was a good movie. And you know, there'd be no reason for you to try to make people grapple with your reasoning for why you don't like something. So I think it's very possible and probable that that reviewers tend to have obscure taste, and that's why it's always funny. I'll see people who say, man, when I was growing up, nobody liked that thing, but now it seems like everyone talks about it all the time. What do I have to use to make this not rusty anymore? But it's like, yeah, of course those people who make reviews are gonna be the ones who feel the same way as you, because the like 5 people in the world who like that game all spent their whole life failing to explain to people why they liked that game, and then ended up becoming reviewers when they were older. So, you know, obviously that's a generalization, but it's my theory. So I've been sitting here all day, not really doing much of anything. I have an odd schedule to my life, you know. I have a certain number of videos I have to make a month, basically, and everything kind of revolves around that, right? Like, I have to get minimum 4. Having 5 to 6 is really nice because it means I make a lot more money. But, like, there's a certain number of videos I have to get out every month, and then, like, as long as I'm sure I've hit that... Oh, there's a mini-map. That makes things a lot easier. Because I was totally going the wrong way. Like, say that I'm going through the month, and I haven't made 4 videos, and, like, I know that that's something I need to get done, right? And then once I have made 4 patron videos, I should say. I usually make a lot more than 4 videos, but I don't patron mark them all. But, like, in order for me to make enough money for me to live each month, both paying my rent and eating out at fast food every day, as I tend to do, or just I shouldn't say fast food, eating out every day, I mean, in order for me to maintain that lifestyle, I have to make at minimum 4 videos a month with the current amount that I make on Patreon. If that amount went down, I'd probably start cranking out a lot more low-effort videos. If that amount went up, I'd probably start cranking out a lot less high-effort videos. As in, I'd pump out more videos, but they'd be higher effort. That was a weird sentence structure. So, once I have the amount that's like the requisite amount, then it's like the rest of the month is just kind of like whatever. And it's interesting because I almost never hit that before the month is over. Like, most months I would be working right up to the end of the month. I would be, you know, like, I'd be a few... Is that like my item? What is it that's blinking up there at the top? Is that my... That's not my health. It must be my item vitality. I guess it's like really low. Like, you really have to fucking keep it up. I think I had a fixer for that. I had something that... Yeah, there we go. And I can just apply it to the sword, I guess. Alright. Very quickly does that run out, it seems. Alright. So anyway... yeah, I usually am working right up to the minute, and especially because, you know, ideally I'll always exceed the minimum number of videos I need to make a month. Like, ideally I want to make more money than the bare minimum so that I can have something in savings. For me, the way I live my life is basically I try to have enough money that when tax season comes, I'll be able to pay my taxes. That's my only goal. Have enough money that when tax season comes, I can pay my taxes. And tax season's already here, but I haven't gotten my fucking tax forms from Patreon yet, because Patreon is slow about everything, and they're terribly run. That's the #1 thing that I don't think gets said enough, and, like, Patreon has this very, like, hipstery attitude where they try to be, like, really nice to the extent that it's almost patronizing, comically enough. I don't know if it's, like, thematically like they're trying to be, because that would be fucking hilarious. But, Patreon has this really, like, upbeat, chipper attitude in their messages to you, but, they feel like it's run by a bunch of 20-year-olds. Like, people... I'm sure it's not, but the way that the attitude of the site is like, they'll get stuff wrong and fuck up your pay and stuff like that, and they'll just be like, oh, oops, we're sorry, we fucked up. Why is my health ticking down constantly? This is very much concerning me. Am I thirsty or something? Is that what's happening? Do I have to drink? Do I have to eat? Do I have to eat something? Okay, I think it's both, maybe? Okay, looks like I'm doing okay. I forgot there's like a huge survival element to this game. Which, I don't think Chantilly's had that, but I think Recettear did. So that's actually, which is from the same company, so that game probably also is paying some homage to Dark Cloud. But yeah, what the fuck was I talking about? Right, Patreon, they don't feel like the best run company, and they get things to you very late, and you just kind of get used to it. Like, as a YouTuber, we are just not well taken care of by anything, because it's basically working for yourself, and your bosses are like, you don't really have anyone that you can like. The advantage is you don't have to answer to anyone, but the disadvantage is that like you also have no one protecting you, no one looking out for you. Like, if you work for a big company, they have standards and practices that they have to conform to. You know, your boss can't treat you like complete shit, and you can complain about your pay, and you can get benefits and stuff like that. If you work for YouTube and Patreon, they basically act like they are not involved, especially YouTube. Patreon like tries to put on the facade of being involved, but they're not very good at it. You know, it's clearly a small team of people running the site who probably weren't really prepared for the amount of usage that the site was going to get. You know, everyone thinks it's a great platform and people go there all the time, but I don't think that they probably have enough staff to actually manage it, which is a big problem. You know, I think I complained about this with the series Ruby on this show before, where whenever I've talked shit about Ruby in the past, because it's a pretty terrible show if we're being honest with ourselves, people always say things like, oh, it's made by like 3 people, you can't compare it to a normal show. Like, they obviously weren't going to be able to do as much as what other people have done because they didn't have as many people working on it. And I'm like, yeah, then they should have just joined a studio. Like, don't make a show with only 3 people if you can't make a good show with only 3 people. You know your limits, stick to things you can do. So I would raise the same criticism to websites. Like, don't let yourself get, you know, too big for your britches, especially like with something like Patreon. They could probably put some kind of limit on it, maybe, you know, have some kind of acceptance system, kind of like what Blip did. Now, I know nobody liked this about Blip, and I'm pretty sure Blip is dead now, but Blip had a thing where you had to like prove that you were actually a decent show, and then you had to maintain a certain level of audience, or else they would kick you from Blip. And like, I get why they did that, because they weren't trying to be like YouTube, where they were completely hands-off and it was just a fucking maelstrom of people putting shit up and halfway a social networking site. It was, you know, they tried to run it like a business, like they were gonna actually look out for you and pay you. They didn't. They were shit. I have a Blip account. I had one for Digi back when I was doing the pony analysis videos, and like there was a period where YouTube had turned off my monetization for 6 months. I got like these copyright strikes, and at the time I didn't know how to fight them. Like, if this happened today, I probably could have fought the strikes and beaten them. But this was before people were talking about this all the time, you know, before everybody understood the copyright system, before YMS was around sharing information with everybody and making it, you know, the whole of YouTube much more informed about it. And so YouTube had disabled my monetization, so I tried to go to Blip because I had already left my job and decided I wanted to do YouTube full time. So I made a Blip account, and you know, I only posted like 2 videos there because whatever. I actually had just made an alternate YouTube account and like started getting paid through that and stuff like that, and started up Patreon not too long afterwards. So it wasn't a huge deal, but like in the short time I had a Blip account, it told me like, once you make $50, we'll send you, you know, the money. Like with YouTube, you have to make $100 before they will ever send you anything. You could, you know, make $99 and they will never send it to you until a month comes along where you have in total made over $100. So will this heal me? No. Will anything heal me? I think I need to be healed. What is in these other bags? Weapon attachment. Okay, not helpful. I need to get the fuck out of this dungeon before I die. So, yeah, I joined Blip, and they were like, oh, if you make $50, you'll get paid. And I made something like 60 at some point, and I never saw that money. I still, to this day, have never seen my money from Blip, as far as I know, unless they sent it without me realizing. Or maybe they sent it much later and I forgot. But, like, I certainly don't remember ever having received any money from Blip. So, fuck them. But, like, ideally, these companies could be kept small. And I know, like, I think I'm in the echelon of Patreon where if they started implementing a system like that, I would get kept. They've sent me a care package the other day, which was kind of cool. They sent me this, like, this notebook, like a Patreon. I'm running into a wall. They sent me a Patreon notebook and, like, some pens and a weird travel blanket. I don't travel, so not helpful, but it was interesting that they put that in there. I was like, are they gonna, because there was a letter with it, and I was like, are they gonna fly me out somewhere? Is that why they've sent me this stuff? But no, it was just like a letter. It was actually handwritten and had like an anime character drawn on it, and it was someone like, yeah, your videos are awesome. And I was like, oh, this person seems like they have actually seen my stuff. Would have really liked my tax forms to come in the mail so I can file my taxes. I mean, I do appreciate the care package, but slightly more important to my life, tax forms would be nice. But you know, whatever. They sent me something else. Alright, how do I fix my weapon? Do I have materials? I'm literally getting sicker by the second here. I don't know why. I don't know why doing this is making me, like, exponentially sicker as I go. I feel like complete shit now. I must be getting what Victor has. I don't know where we got it from. Both of us just started feeling sick at the same exact time the other night. So that sucked. So if there ends up being an accidental Digi Bros hiatus, that's why we both got sick and don't want to record. And I'm too lazy to edit the Ratchet & Clank playthrough. I don't know if that one's going to continue. The first episode of it was really bad, and then after that it kind of picked up once I started getting onto topics, or maybe episode 3 or so it picked up. But we realized while playing Ratchet & Clank that we've gotten too used to modern games, and like going back to the controls of a really old game like that is a little weird. I mean, even right now I feel a little weird playing this game because I'm like slowly coming to the realization that this game does not expect me to control my camera at all times, which is slightly jarring. Like, the camera constantly auto-adjusts itself, so it's not expecting me to control it. Whereas modern games pretty much gave up on the whole idea of the camera being helpful and just went, players have figured it out. They know how to control a camera now. Let's just let them do it. Which I guess I can respect. But, it's a little funny. And it's funny, too, because that's, like, the biggest difference from the control scheme of Chantilly's compared to this, is that, like, in that game, the camera, like, you would never be like this. Your camera is always, like directly on your character's back. And what I would do in that game is I would just hold forward, and I'd control my character, like, what I'm doing right now is I'm just pressing L1 and R1. So I would just hold forward on the D-pad or control stick and just control my character with L1 and R1 like this, which is clearly possible in this game, but not really that necessary since the camera controls are a little bit better than those of Chantilly's. But, oh, fuck, I forgot everything I was talking about. Right, I got onto the topic of taxes because I was talking about my money. Yeah, I try to hold on to enough that, I'm like, regaling myself on everything I've been talking about to try to figure out what point I was getting to, and realizing that, like, 15 minutes ago I had a really salient point I was trying to get to that somehow totally slipped away into the ether, and nothing I've said since has had anything to do with it. But is there a way for me to run? Because I have like a speed meter, and I'm wondering if that's something I activate. Like, if I hold a button, do I dash? I'm like crying. Whoa. My eyes are bleeding out of my face right now. You're witnessing my death on live camera. So, I try to hold on to enough money to pay my taxes. I try to always have a certain amount in the bank, and I can do that by, you know, I know exactly about how much I spend in a month. And I haven't been spending much the last couple months because it's tax season. See, this is why it fucks me that Patreon doesn't just send me my fucking tax forms, like, in a timely fashion, is because I like to make really big purchases. I like to buy things. Like, I would love to buy another one of this microphone because I figured out at some point how to hey, let's leave the dungeon for a little bit and see what's going on back in the town. I figured out how to hook up 2 microphones at once, which means that me and Victor could have great audio in Digi Bros. And there was a play session at some point where I tested that, and what I hated about it is that I only have one of this mic, and I have an older one that I had Victor on, and the sound quality is so different. Not that that one was necessarily bad, it just sounds weird to hear both sounds at the same time. So I'd like to get another nice microphone. This one's like $300, $350. So I'd like to buy that, but until tax season is done, and I know exactly how much I owe the government, I don't want to go throwing money around. I don't want to throw around $300 and then find out I owe fucking $5,000 to the government or some shit. Because I don't know what I'll be able to write off on my taxes until the time comes. So I try not to spend too much, so I'd really like to be able to buy another microphone or do all that other shit, and they just need to send me my fucking tax forms. Or I just need to start making enough money that that doesn't become a concern anymore, you know? I've become very money-oriented over time. I just really want to make a lot of money. Oh god, I got a lot of stuff I can build. No, never mind, I only have 3 things. Okay, well, let's build this... Georama edit. Okay, well, that sounds complicated, so let's go back to the dungeon. Oh, I can go to it from the menu. Interesting. Alright. I did not know this. But, I forgot what I was talking about. Money. Bullshit. Oh, I apparently missed it. That's cool that it tells me that. I'm gonna go back to B1 and find out what I missed. It's occurring to me that it's probably the minecart, and I probably had to make the minecart go, and I don't know how to do that yet. But let's look around anyways. I don't like to leave anything incomplete. Is this randomized? Did the dungeon change? Because why is my map not filled in? I've already been here. My map should be filled in, right? Well, that's a treasure chest that I haven't opened. I really don't know if this is randomized or if if it just gave me the chest again. Pretty confusing. Anyway, yeah. The point I was getting to with all that fucking shit I was saying about money is that if I actually make enough videos early into the month, then I feel like I have nothing but free time all month, which is really cool because it means I can work on more passion project type stuff and not try to worry so much about money. Not that I wouldn't anyways, but it's very liberating to be working on a passion project because you can, as opposed to because you just are failing at convincing yourself to do other shit. Like, if I'm in the middle of a month, let's say I've made 2 videos that I can patronize, right? And I've made a weird word for that. Let's say I've made 2 patron videos. I've made you know, I haven't made enough money to be able to relax yet. But there's something I really want to make that I can't patron, or I want to play a video game or something, like, you know, just anything that's anything I want to do that is not work. Then, in order for me to do that... Wait, what does this thing do? Oh, it's fish bait. Why is carrots bait for fish? Do fish eat carrots? I've never heard that. Whoa, these guys are coming at me. So if I wanted to do something else that's not like my main series of videos, then I'm going to feel a lot of guilt about it. And the constant back and forth in my mind is going to be, well, I should be working on something else. I should be doing my main series work. I should be doing this, you know, and it makes it so I do all my work a lot slower, right? Because every day that I start working on the passion project, it's like, oh, this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. I need to make a real video. And then I'll spend all day trying to think of a real video, and I can't come up with one, and I just feel like shit. Well, every once in a blue moon, there's a rare month where I manage to have enough videos out. And this month, that's entirely because of the Devu, who busted his ass, got 3 parts of the Asterisk War out, and I happened to actually make a video this month that I could patron, my Dark Souls one, which has become an unbelievable success in a way I did not at all expect it to. So at some point next month, I'm probably going to make a pretty decent ad revenue amount because that video was actually successful. But, because, like, most of the time, you know, I don't care if my videos are like, successful in terms of views. I have patrons, and all that matters is that they see it. If a video gets 300 views, but I can still patron market, and my patrons still appreciate the video, then I still make money from it. But, like, it's a really nice bonus when a video comes out that people actually, like, watch a lot of, and I get, like, a ton of ad rev from it, and, you know, because I don't consider that a part of my income. Like, I don't think about it. I just think, like, all right, I'm making $1,000 this year because I made this month because I made this many videos, and then, like, I suddenly get $300 in my bank account from YouTube, and I'm like, oh wow, I did other work today. That's nice, you know. I didn't realize I was gonna receive, and I never know how much it is because I don't check because the numbers aren't really that accurate. Like, and because I have multiple channels and I get paid from all of them at once. So, like, on Digi Bro, it'll say, like, oh, you made $200, and I'll be like, ah, whatever. And then, like, I'll receive a much larger amount in my bank account because, you know, Digi Bro After Dark and Digi Bros itself, this channel, all those are monetized, you know, to far lesser amounts, but it can actually count for quite a bit at the end of the day. I wonder what happens if I set something in these slots. I feel like that is probably helpful, but I don't feel like learning more controls right now. So yeah, when I have a month like this where I've actually made 4 videos, and it's like I can kind of do whatever I want. Like, yeah, it would be nice if I made a 5th and made that extra bit of money so that, like, I can be really comfortable next month. And it's a huge difference because, like, think about it. If it only takes like 3 or 4 videos for me to make enough that I can, like, be satisfied for a month, then imagine how much more it adds on for each additional video, you know. And on the one hand, I make less for each video that I put out. Like, the way that Patreon works is that people have a limit. Like, they set a personal limit for how much they're going to pay per month. So most people have a limit that's just a couple of videos a month. It's not like all GUI conditions. Okay, doesn't help apparently. Don't know what GUI conditions are. I don't know how to cure my poison. Oh, there we go. Alright, so yeah, most people have some kind of limit imposed on how much they're gonna give me a month. And so, oh shit, I really need repair stuff. How do I fix my fucking sword? It's making an annoying beeping sound, and I don't like that. Do I have any I don't have anything to repair my sword with. What do I do? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do to make it stop making that fucking sound. So anyway, yeah, every video I make makes less money, but it's still a big chunk. Like, if one video is $300, then all I have to do is kick out a 5th video, and I can make another $300, which makes a huge impact on the next month, because that could be the cost of the microphone that I talked about. You know, if I just want a nice mic, and then I get that mic with that $300. And it doesn't come out of, like, you know, I think of myself as having a certain amount every month, and then when I make more than that, then it's like a really pleasant surprise. Or I might make it so I could pay the rest of my taxes or something like that. If I don't know how much they're going to be. Probably not that bad. I'm planning to try to write off everything I possibly can, but I don't know how much it'll be. Alright, I guess we'll go into edit mode. Ooh. I don't know how this works. Okay. Okay. Just put... Yeah, let's put Macho's house. Let's put it over here near the chief's house, yeah? How do I fucking rotate? Yeah. Alright, no, we can't tuck it in the corner? Okay, we'll put it right here on the edge. Close to the corner, right? We can build around it. And put some trees next to his house. He likes trees. Clearly a fan of trees. Oh, can I just do that? Okay, it's only 3. I thought, oh wait, it's more. Okay, yeah. More fucking trees. Can I just do this forever? I don't think I can go back to that area. No, I'm out of trees. Okay, cool. Whatever. I've totally lost track of what I was trying to say. I'm building a fucking town now, and I've put a weird road in a strange spot. Let's put it, yeah, fuck it. Alright, that's enough. That's enough of this. This is confusing and weird. I just want to go talk to Macho. Oh my god, I showed up at the place I was pointing at. Hey, he's got a treasure chest in his yard. I'll just take your stuff. You don't need that stuff. I need that stuff. But as a result of the fact that I've got 4 videos out, I can relax and do whatever the fuck I want. So, when I get into that mode, that's actually one of the most creative modes I can get into. It can also just be fun. I could just play a lot of video games as a result, and obviously I'm doing that at the moment. But, one of the most creative moods I can get into is I can do whatever the fuck I want, so I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want mode. In this case, like today, the last few days I've been putting together these like Sakuga compilations just because they're fun. Like, I don't make any money off of them, but they're fun to do, so I've just been, oh, you know what? Macho's not in his house because I have to find Macho in the dungeon, isn't it? Oh, Jesus. But, like, I've just been making shit just for the hell of it, and, today, like, I often go downstairs and I go into Victor's room and I just see what he's doing, and he's been watching a bunch of comedy specials on Netflix, and I just sat down and I get roped into him, and I'm like, oh man, this guy's really funny, and then I just watch the whole fucking thing. And I always inevitably, if I watch any stand-up, end up starting to think of stand-up routines, you know, going through my head, trying to like think of what I would say and do, and if I was a stand-up comedian, and like how I wish I feel like there's a lot of little career paths that I think I'd be good at, but I just need to practice. And stand-up is one of the few things where it's like practicing that wouldn't really be that hard. Like, for instance, I'd love to be in a band. I'd love to be a musician, but learning music is so outside of my like range of expertise and experience that it's not the kind of thing I feel like I could ever do well. Like, I don't even know how to read music. I don't know how to play music. I don't know how to play any instruments. So, like, the prospect of learning music is very daunting. But the prospect of learning stand-up comedy is not that different from the shit that I do just all the time. Like, my life is primarily talking and often trying to be very witty, especially in my writing. And I've been doing a lot of improv lately in the form of like improv conversations, not so much comedy, but you know, I do this show, I do other shows. And so I've been thinking like, man, that's another career path that is relatively open to me, where if I decided I wanted to do that, like let's say YouTube didn't work out, and I know stand-up is like incredibly hard to like actually form a career in, so it's not exactly a choice I'd go running to, like openly thinking that it's going to be like a great alternative to what I'm doing. I completely appreciate how rough it is to try to get into stand-up, but like it is another thing that is within my specific realm of abilities, so to speak. So I think it would be fun, and it wouldn't take as much practice as something I completely don't know shit about. Is there a dodge button? Is there a way for me to not get hit by that? I guess I just run away. He's quite fast though, and my weapon broke. I wasn't watching it. I wasn't thinking about it. I guess he's made of some strong alloys. Alright, let's just run around this dungeon and see if we can find either something to repair this with or another weapon. I don't know how this works in this game. I don't know what you're supposed to do when your shit breaks. So anyways, I've been recording myself tonight, drunken doing comedy routines. I did a couple. I recorded them. I might have released them on Digi After Dark. I might not. I don't even know. You'll know, probably by the time this comes out. But oh, I got my own house. That's nice. But yeah, it's fun to be able to just do stuff like that. You know, I get to do a lot of things that are not my normal shit when I have time, which is why I've always, like, for me, the incentive to make more money has always been to buy time to do more things. Like, I used to always say that, like, I might get back into fiction writing if the day ever came that I made enough on my videos that I didn't have to do them all the time, or if I, you know, I might do bigger videos, I might get more into music. Like, there's a lot of things that I'm, like, just barely proficient at, but I could be a lot better at if I had the time to work at it, you know? Like, my dream would be to get to the point that I only had to make one video a month. And what I would do is I would make those videos extremely polished, extremely nice. And you might be thinking, well, the guys who make the extremely nice polished videos take all month to do it. And I'm going to tell you right now, I work faster than those guys. It is just a matter of fact. I am a very fast worker, no matter how fucking hard the video is to edit. And if you don't believe me, go back and watch Sword Art Online Sucks, Season 2, Your Anime Sucks, Sword Art Online 2, Part 1. If you don't know, in the month of October of 2014, I made a video every fucking day for the whole month. And yeah, a lot of them were pretty fucking lazy. They were just one-off little videos that I did for no reason. But I also made the first episode of Your Anime Sucks Sword Art Online 2. That video would have taken any other video maker that entire fucking month to do, and I put a video out on every single day of that month, including that video. Ergo, I have confidence. I don't know why I'm stating this so aggressively, but I'm confident that that I could make an amazing video once a month and still have time to do other shit. You know, I can make something that was like it's not because I have to make more than one video that I don't make big huge ones. It's that I make that I have to make 4 or 5. You know, like 4 is the minimum that I can make before it becomes really profitable. What the fuck am I supposed to do now? Like, I'm thirsty, I'm dying. Okay, I died. What the fuck was I supposed to do though? Like, what was I meant to heal myself with if I don't have any healing items? Where was I meant to go? I just slowly died. I'm not entirely sure what I could have saved myself with. I feel like I don't have a full grasp of this game because I haven't been paying that much attention. But anyways, if I was only like having to make even 2 videos a month, it would be a lot easier to do that. You know, if I made enough off of them that I could make $1,000 off of 2 videos, then it would be far more simple to just you know, make ones that were a lot more high quality and then be able to do whatever the fuck I want for the rest of the time. So if I made 1 video a month, it'd probably take me at most, I'm gonna say a week. I would have said 2 weeks. But realistically speaking, I don't think there's any video that would take me more than a week. Anything. I don't think there's a single thing I could possibly conceptualize short of an actual film, short of something that involves multiple people. There's nothing I could do by myself that would take me more than a week, you know? I know there's guys like Best Guy Ever, and he takes 6 fucking months on his videos, and he's very proud of the perfectionism, and he said he spent 5 hours on 30 seconds and stuff like that. But, you know, he has a job, a day job, he gets distracted a lot, and he also, I don't know that he works, like, smart in terms of speed. I don't know how his work cycle looks like, but I've been doing this for a very long time, and I have figured out how to make things go very quick, and I know what I'm doing, and I think if I only had to make 1 video a month, I could make it. I won't say on the level of Nate's videos, because the level of tender love and care he puts into them is something that I will never have for one project, and shouldn't ever have for one project. But I could definitely make some exquisitely produced videos in about a week every month, and then have the rest of the month to do whatever the fuck I wanted. Like, you know, really expand on my other work and make some things that maybe aren't the same as my mainline videos, and maybe I could even turn that into a second revenue stream, you know? Like, the cool thing about making a lot of money from one video is that you can then start taking something else seriously. Like, that's why, you know, the dangerous road to go down with that is someone like Egoraptor, who made his mainline content, and he made enough money off of that he could do Game Grumps, and then Game Grumps made so much money that now that's all he does. But, like, if let's say, I think Yahtzee Croshaw is the ideal way to be able to have multiple careers, where he makes so much money off of his Zero Punctuation show, which clearly he's gotten able to do very fast, and he has no trouble pumping it out every week. He's also able to write books. He's published 2 books in the time since Zero Punctuation started, both Mogworld and Jam. He does Let's Drown Out, a podcast series. He started a second show on The Escapist, which is, what's it called? I'm not even playing the game anymore. I can't pretend that I can play this while talking about this. Oh man, I'm like actually actively being bewildered now thinking about how much stuff Yahtzee puts out and how high quality all of it is. This man puts out zero punctuation every week, and people love it, and it's a great show that has effort put into it and is very well written. He puts out. I'm not comfortable with the way that this game is like going through day cycles while I'm talking about this. I don't know what they mean, but I don't want to find out. He's got zero punctuation. He's got Judging by the Cover, his new show, which obviously doesn't take that long to produce, but is still extremely clever and fun. He's got Extra Punctuation, where he does written posts. He used to do them every week, but then he slowed it down because he didn't have enough concepts. But still, he's writing a lot. He's doing Let's Play shows every week that are an hour long apiece. He writes novels, and he produces video games. He has produced 2 full games in the time that he's been doing zero punctuation. Both Poacher and, what's it called? 3, Hatfall, which is more of like a mobile style game. And then also The Consuming Shadow. And he's had several game projects that he just didn't finish. This man's productivity is otherworldly. And I think I could do that. I think I could be as productive as Yahtzee Croshaw if any of one thing I did made enough money. Like, if I mean, you could argue that I am very prolific because I'm making 4 videos or 5 videos a month, which probably take, well, I won't say they take more effort than zero punctuation, so never mind. I'm less prolific than him. I do put out Let's Plays every single day, but like, and a lot of weird other videos. But I think if I made enough from my videos that I could do other things, I could be also writing a novel, which actually, you know, makes money and is a second revenue stream, and be doing a video games, which I can actually sell on Steam or whatever, you know. I don't make video games, but my point is it'd be cool. I don't know why I'm fucking talking about this. I've been ranting for like 45 fucking minutes about nothing that anyone fucking cares about. I'm sick. I'm a little drunk. I feel like shit. I want to go home. I am home. What am I talking about? Next time on Digi Bros, it'll be whenever.